Welcome to the quietest ones in the room with your host, Trey. Thank you once again for joining me. Look, I gotta say it. I gotta say it again. Just the mere fact that you clicked onto this video, you are the most beautiful and intelligent people on the face of the planet. So again, thank you. Let's talk about it. Something that I've been seeing online for years, years. Video after video, I've come across this topic and I just have to talk about it. It's like enough is enough. I'm fed up with it. So I'm going to address it, which is the concept of marriage and the concept that many people share online is that marriage is a scam. Come on. Really? It's a scam. So what happens is I go on YouTube and I'm scrolling through and I'll see these different videos. Oftentimes, maybe these are red pill community guys or guys who've gotten divorced or guys in their older age, let's say 50s, 60s, maybe even mid 40s. And they're just talking about the idea of marriage and how it's a scam and women and men. And I mean, you even hear women say these same things. So I won't just put it on guys. But even women in our society are buying into the idea that marriage is a scam. And I got to thinking about it and I said to myself, it's not at all that marriage is a scam because it's not. Marriage is a very important process for those who wish to participate in being married and having a family with children, building a lifestyle together, building and working towards goals, and being a value add in the community. It's important. It's important that you have people who aspire to be in loving, healthy relationships and get married. And they're responsible and they have children who are responsible and accountable. And that family adds value to the system. And I find it so interesting that more and more people are calling marriage a scam. And I can see in these people who have decided to go this direction of calling marriage a scam that so many of them are bitter. So many of them, when they might have been married, they were defeated, deflated. Maybe they thought the marriage was supposed to go a particular way, and therefore, because it didn't, and now they're in a situation where they're not married, it's the idea of let me convince others that it's a bad choice to get married in modern times. And I thought about it deeper and deeper. I'm like, everybody that I know who is married, it's not even that these people come off as being the happiest people, but I can damn sure say that the married people I know versus those who aren't married, the conversations around feeling validated and having a sense of purpose seems to be more so accomplished by those who are married and who have children. And so I'm seeing these women and these men telling younger folks in particular why marriage is a scam, it's a setup, women are going to take your money, the men are going to try to control you, all these messages. But the truth of what marriage has enabled so many people isn't fully understood. Marriage is, in a large part, the reason not only people find value and purpose in life because they're with someone that they love, that they have similar interests with, they have those family ties. And then when they have children, that adds even more purpose and value and understanding in terms of what the relationship is truly about. And so, beyond that, though, when you look at it, you start to realize that marriage, for many people, finding someone that you love and marrying them and having kids is a driver of wealth creation. It's a driver of great mental health, especially when the relationship is healthy. It drives so many things that should not be an understatement. Yet it seems it's so popular, especially now, to discuss why marriage is a scam. And I don't personally think it's that marriage is a scam. I think what it is that people are scam artists. And so simply the amount of people who get married and their intentions as to why they got married. Maybe it's about the money. Maybe it's about this is the one person I felt I could control in a relationship. There are so many reasons why people get married that you can't pinpoint to one thing. It's so variable. And for all the marriages that fail, it shouldn't take away from the reality of how impactful marriage is. Like, I know I mentioned the wealth aspect of it. Married people, as a if you compare married individuals to single, married individuals typically have a better life experience, a higher level of wealth, as I mentioned, a higher level of community and the value that's being added. And it's not to say that because you're single, you can't be impactful. That's really not the point. And that's not even really what I want to argue about. And I'm not even trying to argue, to be honest. It's just, I'm tired of the bullshit of people spreading the concept in particular to people who hope to one day get married, or maybe they don't want to get married because they're seeing all this content. It's like, don't listen to them. Marriage is important. Having children is important. And you finding the right person to build that with adds so much value to your life that it should not be understated what that can do for you. But this hate regarding the the concept of marriage is just played out. It's immature. It's a falsehood that, for whatever reason, some of these influencers are trying to convince people that it's a bad idea for them. And maybe it's because they know that because most marriages don't work out, or most people don't have children, and it's a way to, I don't know, make money because they can convince people that they understand why it's a scam, and they're telling people it's a scam, and they write books and they do I don't know really what it's about, but the biggest thing that I pull from it is, if you want to get married, you should definitely do that. And also, it's important to, in large part, ignore these, I guess I'd call them Pinocchios, relationship terrorists, I call them. Ignore these relationship terrorists who say things like marriage is a scam, when really it's people oftentimes are scammers. And it's really important to take your time and make sure that you're going to build with someone who has the same values and beliefs that you do, which will help reduce conflict, and has the same values and beliefs that you do in terms of how to raise children and plan for retirement and where you want to live, whether you want to live in the city, the suburbs, the rural parts of America, you want to travel. Have these conversations, but then also understand that when you do pick that person that you want to be with, these things can change. Things are subject to change in relationships over time. And because so many people are hearing marriage is a scam and you should avoid it, young men, you should avoid it, and she's going to take half, and women are now thinking the same things. And while all these things can be true, it doesn't stop people from doing other things in life. The fear of, going after a job, let's say. Do you understand the amount of people who get rejected from the job that you might have now? The amount of applications that were sent out for that job that you currently occupy? But that didn't stop you. You got the job, you're making your money. And the people who didn't get the job, they're still job searching, and they'll land somewhere else. And so it's a part of it. It's a part of it that many marriages aren't going to work. But I also think that many marriages don't work because of these relationship terrorists who say marriage is a scam, and they don't deal with the fact that there's a problem we've been experiencing in our society where, when I was talking to someone I know about this, it's as if the elders don't tell you the truth about marriage, which is, after their honeymoon phase is over, because every relationship is going to end. That honeymoon phase, those butterfly phases you go through, you want to be around them all the time phase, that's going to end at some point. And the two people are going to really have to find a way to navigate the relationship beyond the sex, the things that they've acquired, the money. So Everyone's going to get there. And that's a lot of times where the relationship breaks down. It's after the honeymoon phase is over, the relationship falls apart, people get divorced, and then said people get divorced and they get on YouTube or X or TikTok or whatever platform, and they talk about how marriage is a scam. But if someone had sat down with them before they ever got married and said, hey, marriage is not a scam. It's the institution of marriage is not a scam. It's the people who get married. And the people who get married are often misinformed about what marriage entails and what it really does take to have a successful marriage. Instead, people would just rather demonize the institution of marriage, which I think is ass backwards. It's like, no, encourage people to get married and develop solutions to the problems that people face in their marriages. See, but what happens also is that when people are married, they're often not vulnerable about the difficulties they experience in their marriages because many people feel less than when people are looking at their relationship as being less than what Hollywood depicts and love songs depict. That it's blissful from marriage until death, being married for 40, 50 years. It's blissful all the way through. No, people have challenges. And sometimes those challenges manifest themselves and get, deep rooted into the individuals so much that by the time it's over between them and their spouse, they've concluded that it wasn't necessarily them, but it might have been the other person who was the issue, and that even after all of that, it wasn't necessarily that at all. It was just the fact that marriage was a scam, and I would have been better off single, maybe not have had any children or whatever it might be. But for anybody who's single, and if you're listening to this and you're single, there are challenges in that for sure. And maybe you're happy being single, but there are damn sure people who are also happy being married. And so maybe marriage isn't for you, but to call it a scam, nah, marriage isn't a scam. People are just scammers. They're not upfront about really what they're looking for in relationships. And people, take your time when you're looking to get married. And if you do that and you realize that the relationships change over time, but you're willing to work through it and maintain your relationship and keep your family together and build a community, it's well worth it. And so keep that in mind. Don't be discouraged from the idea of getting married. Definitely pursue it and build your family. And I'm telling you, to be one of the greatest things you ever do in your life. So thank you for checking this out. Please like, subscribe, share. Please share your thoughts in the comments. I'm certain you guys see these videos as well. Maybe you agree that marriage is a scam and what I'm saying is misplaced. Let me know what you think. Agree, disagree, where are you at with it? But as always, Until next time.